Well, if I would tell you that I have read 3 books in 3 days without even touching them, would you believe me? Of course not, because that is quite impossible, right? But I did that, and I did that with the help of certain things which I want to tell you in this video. So make sure to watch this video till the end and subscribe if you haven't subscribed my YouTube channel, because you will find videos on personality tips, self-development, and self-help. So subscribe to my channel. This video is divided into 2 phases. In phase 1, I would tell you why it is important for you to learn a book without even touching them, and second is how you can do it in a fast way so that your time will increase, your productivity will increase, and you can do a lot more stuff in that time. The very first thing that you need to understand is why you want to study it. Why there are some books which we want to read and which we want to delve into, but we don't have time for it, right? We are so busy in our businesses, in our college, in our schools, that we don't touch that book. But what if that book isn't in your shelf, right? There's some cases where a student don't have money to buy those books, or a college student won't spend their money on buying books, right? In that case, you have a shortcut in which not only will read the book, but also you will read it without even touching it. Now for it, what you need 2 AI tools that I want to tell you in this video. The first one is ChatGPT, that is the ultimate, and the second one will come in the video later on. Now let's start with the first step. The first step is to understand which book you have to read. Right? Now there is a cliche here, and the cliche is that you cannot read a fictional book, or you cannot do this process on a fictional book. It has to be a non-fictional. Now why I'm saying that? Being an author of 2 books, right, I can say fictional work is only be understood by reading it. And books which have a lot of stories in the non-fiction world as well have much more to say than just wrote it down in a couple of points, right? So what I am suggesting you is you all have to make sure that you are picking up a book which is kind of non-fictional, right? Not a fictional book, because fictional book will have a different approach, right? If you will ask AI about a book, it will just give you a generic answer, right? But if you will read the fiction by yourself, for example, let us take the example of the Harry Potter, right? Or Sherlock Holmes, right? Or any other book which you want in a fictional category, it is very important that you should read it by yourself, and you should spend time with that, because it's like a journey, right? But when it comes to self-help or non-fiction and books that resonates a lot less with you and more with what they offer, right, it can easily be done through ChatGPT. What you need is to first download the PDF version of that book. Now you might be thinking that, oh, that book doesn't have a PDF version yet. Okay, there's no problem with that. You have to choose a book which have a PDF version, because in this process, only PDF version will work most, right? Now you need a PDF version. For the sake of this video, I'm choosing a book which is How to Influence Friends and People. I hope I sound it correctly. How to Win Friends and Influence People, yes, by Dale Carnegie. It's a great book for you to understand how to make friends, how to influence people around you, and how you can understand them in a better way, right? So if you will just download the ebook from the internet, it will be easily done, and I will share the full PDF in the description as well. First, you have to download that PDF. After that you download the PDF, you have to put it aside, because we don't need a PDF right now. What you need is ChatGPT, and in ChatGPT you have to write this prompt. This prompt will get the in-depth outline of the book, and you will get the in-depth outline of it, right? Once you get the in-depth outline of the book, then what you need, you have to write it down in a notebook. Yes, in a notebook you have to write it down just like I did. So as you can see, I will just show you. This is how I wrote it, right? If you haven't seen it, pardon my writing, but yes, that is how I wrote the whole summary, that is the in-depth summary of the book. And the book, by the way, is ChatGPT will give you in points, right? So it will never gonna be like paragraphs. It will be point-to-point structure. Now, why this point-to-point structure is important and why you have to write it, right? If you want to write it, you will just print it either, right? But the core reason why you have to write it, I will share that reason in the end, right? Yes, that's a little secret. So the reason why I have to write this book, not the book, but the outline of the book, is for you to develop that thinking. Okay, so now my hands also know that I'm writing. So writing makes your thoughts easier, right? It just declutter your thoughts and make your writing improved, right? And your thinking improved as well. In my previous video, how to think clearly or how you can control your mind, it is very essential that you incorporate writing into that, right? So now let's come to the second part. The second part is make it more interactive, right? Learning a book just through writing it or outlining it from ChatGPT seems to be a vague idea, right? So what you need to do is to get on an interactive mode on in you so that you would be able to encapsulate or inculcate that book in a more beautiful way. How to do that? There's an AI software called Notebook LM by Google. Of course, it's a great AI software, and what you can do is just search on Google Notebook LM and you will get to the website. And once you get to the website, then you have to upload some sort of text and it will create a podcast out of that text. Yes, you heard it right. A full-length podcast of around 20 minutes or 25 minutes, right? It will just create it for you, and in that podcast, the two AI avatars will just create a surrounding in which they are talking to each other. That will be audio podcast, and the two creators will talking about the text, the source that you have shared in the upload box, right? So in the upload dialog box, what you have to do, you have to put that PDF which you have just downloaded of this book, right? If you don't have this PDF, I am just putting it in the description down below. You can check it right there, and once you download it and upload that on the website, it will just take a couple of minutes, like 10 to 15 minutes, and at the end of it, it will just create a full-length podcast for you. Here is a sample of that podcast that is gonna show you, that is gonna play now.
Make them work for us.
It's amazing how relevant this book still is. I mean, it was published in 1937, but it's still a bestseller.
Totally. It's like we're all still trying to figure out how to have better relationships, and Carnegie just gets it. He understood way back then that human...
Wow, it's great, right? I mean, listening to this sort of, immense interactive podcast will just create a different realm for you, for your learning, right? And with your notes ready into the notebook and your podcast, you will enable a different world for you. And believe it or not, it will be the best ever experience that you will have. Now, you might be thinking why I'm not emphasizing more on reading, but on writing and listening, right? There's a catch in this, right? In my opinion, what worked for me was writing and listening, because that was my master sense. Now, what is a master sense? This is another topic of debate, right? And for that sort of stuff, I'm creating an ebook which will be coming in a few months, right? And I'm working on it, and it's called the Master Sense. I definitely can say that it's not AI generated, and I'm doing all that research work and stories on my own, on my experiences of how I learned the English language, because I am not a native English speaker, but I learn English in a way that it triggers these two senses, right? And that is why it became my master sense. Now, what is the master sense? If you want to know more about it, comment in the comment section about the master sense and I will make a video on it. And if you want me to cover more about this sort of English learning process that I did in my past, make sure to comment as well. Like this video if you like, and also I have all the podcasts and all the books that I've read this far in the description. So you would got the PDF of the book, you will get the outline of the book, and you will get the podcast of the book in that folder. So make sure to check that in the comment section, and you can make more of such things and enable yourself to be more faster than before, right? Think about it. You are learning 10 books in 10 days, and not only you're learning it, but you are discussing it. You are interacting with it. You are just making your mind to inculcate those things and implement those things in your life. How great that could be, right? So I hope you like this video, and if you like this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now, because I will just make these kind of videos later on as well. And if you want me to make a full video on these books of what I've learned from them, and so yeah, subscribe the channel. Plus, I have one more surprise coming for you in maybe 1 or 2 weeks. So that would be much more good than that you can think of. Plus, I have one more thing for you that is absolutely free. If you want to know yourself, you heard it right. You have the PDF, in which it's not a PDF, it's an ebook of whether you are a villain or a hero in your life. And if you want to know more about it, just in the description, get the PDF. It's absolutely free, and you would just immerse yourself into a world that is out of your imagination, right? Until then, Fuzail signing off.